Alright, hi, I'm Savjz, and I want to talk to you guys a little bit about how to reach legend in Hearthstone, because that's something that a lot of people are aiming for. And to start things off, I want to explain it how important it is that you just like pick a strategy and perfect that. Because I know a lot of people tend to like maybe switch decks, try a little bit of this, try a little bit of that. But if you want to reach legend, I think the most important thing at first is that you pick one deck that you wanna do it with, and you master that particular class or deck that you choose to play. It can be aggressive strategy, like a paladin strategy, like mysterious challenger type of thing, or it could be hunter also. But it could also be anti-aggro. It's something that beats those most popular decks. And getting to know the matchups especially is really important. If you play against Druid or if you play against a paladin, it actually changes your plays a lot. Because Druid, for example, has the one of the weakest AoE clears in the game, which is the swipe. Does not kill all the minions at the time, unless they are at 1 toughness. So you need to know how to play around those cards, and it always changes what deck you are playing, like what cards. There's not that many different minions, so you know that. And which one is the one that I should play against Druid right now? Which one is the one that I should play against Paladin right now? And if you keep switching your decks, it can be a little bit difficult to know exactly what's going on or what's the likely play from your opponent. So pick one class, either aggro or anti-aggro, and stick with it. More advice on how to get there is just watching streams. I would strongly recommend that. That's one of the easiest and maybe the most fun way to do it. If you don't like my stream, you don't have to watch my stream. If you like somebody else's stream, let's just watch that instead. It doesn't really matter. There's a lot of different styles, and I think that's the best way to kind of learn how the decisions are done in that sense. The small decision making is really important, and like knowing your own stuff, like knowing the own strategy. Like, what is your deck's win condition? How do I win with this deck? If you're playing Druid, it's kind of obvious. It might be Force of Nature into Savjz Roar. If you're playing Warrior, it might be to run your opponent out of cards with your huge legendary cards. It's one of the most important things. If your deck is more based on late game strategy, you can against aggressive decks you can play your hand pretty fast. Against slow decks, you might want to hold on to more things and try to save the execute, for example, for something really big. But against aggressive strategies, you can usually play it quite fast, and you need to recognize what cards from your opponent are the ones that you are most likely to lose to. Let's say you're playing against a hunter. You know that Savannah High Main on the hunter's turn 6 can be very painful. So you wanna keep a card to deal with that. Maybe not in the starting hand, but after you draw into that, you might wanna keep it. If you're playing against a fast hunter, and you know that you've seen like Worgened Infiltrator, which is an aggressive card, you might make the guess that there's no high mains coming, and in that case you can play your Aldor Peacekeeper or your Silence effect way earlier. Knowing your own win conditions and knowing your opponent's win conditions are really important, and also you need to know which player is the aggressor, because one of the players is usually the one who needs to end the game faster. So you need to recognize whether your own deck is the aggressive one in the particular matchup, or the one that hopes to go late into the game. Because it's very rare that two decks would both want to go into very late game. It can happen if you're playing Control Priest against Control Warrior. Both players might be kind of confident, and the biggest thing with that matchup would be that there's no other option really. Like they cannot like beat each other very fast. But if you're playing a hunter deck, you know that you almost always you are the aggressive one. So keep that in mind and just go for the face a lot, and try to end the game as fast as possible. If you want to choose like a mid-range strategy, now might be a bad time, and that actually might not be the deck that you want to use to get legend, because in general it doesn't do all that well against the aggressive stuff. So you gotta like play the extremes. You gotta play like a very fast deck or a very slow deck, and or like very slow deck with a lot of like early tools, maybe heals, maybe taunts. But you need to know that. And another thing about that is that you really need to like understand the meta game that is happening right at that moment. If you see a lot of hunter on the ladder, you might want to consider playing Kazan Mystic in your deck to steal those secrets. It's very important to adjust your play according to what you are running up against. If you if you see a streamer play this one deck and he's doing really well with it, you might not still want to play the exact same deck if you're running into problems with a particular class. That's very common. If you see a rogue and you lose to a rogue, sure, I mean, don't put in a Harrison Jones just to beat the rogue, because you're probably not gonna see another one for the next 4 hours. But if you are running into a lot of mages, a lot of hunters, just consider like getting those removals for the secrets, for example. Right now, the most dominant deck on the ladder is the Secrets Paladin, which is probably the deck that you wanna either play or beat, and you need to adjust to that. And maybe a little bit surprising, but Big Game Hunter is actually a fairly good card against that, because you can after Avenge sometimes you can Big Game Hunt to deal with that annoying Mysterious Challenger. So it's something to consider. Whatever deck you're playing, you need to think like, what if my opponent plays a turn 6 Mysterious Challenger? How do I beat that? And also, how do I beat the early Master for Battle, the Shielded Minibot, all that stuff? So you might want to have some AoE early on. You have to clear the board, so you need to, whatever deck class you're playing, you might want to consider like playing a little bit more AoE than usual, and having some kind of spot removal for the Mysterious Challenger. Also, when you draw the removal for the Mysterious Challenger, don't play it before the Challenger is out. That's pretty much it. If you can beat Paladin at this very moment, then you're probably going to reach Legend. If you can't beat it on the first go, don't worry. Playing against it is something that gets easier and easier. A lot of people are crying on Reddit about how they keep losing to it, but that's because they don't really know how to play against it. It's actually quite easy at most times. You might be guessing wrong at first on what secrets are, which secret is what. Like, there's 5 different secrets in the Paladin deck, and I think that's why some players struggle with it more than others do, because for newer players they can't really like follow or can't guess correctly what secret it is from your opponent's hand, or might not know how to react to it, even if they guessed it wrong. So the more you play against that deck, the better you will know to play around those secrets and recognize the biggest threats for your deck. Make sure to subscribe if you enjoyed this, and Hearthstone is a pretty fun game. I hope you have fun playing it as well.
Arc second and the rest of them zoning them out to the best of their abilities. Oh, going into the flash. Oh my god. I don't even know how to do